All right, I think we're good to go. Let me just do a little audio check.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello.
All right, the mic is working.
Nice. Are you ready for this?
Uh-oh. I don't think I'm ready.
This might be only for long-legged people. Maybe.
There's a lot of things you do that are like exceptionally
Something.
suited towards long-limbed people.
Some things.
Some things, many things. I mean, use your, play to your strengths.
Alright, but I like this one because it works in with our focus on like cable gripping and posture control. Yeah, those two concepts. Let's start in what's it called? Leg drag. Oh, we're changing the can't
Random
move the
objects
shot.
in the shot.
It's in the shot.
Don't want random objects in the shot.
No random objects in the shot. Alright. Maybe leg drug right here. Great. Alright, so this one, right, we're leg dragging. Right, so what I've been working on here is I've been playing with a cradle here, so that's kind of what this was born through. So we're coming in here and making a connection with the gable grip. Right, so this gable grip is nice because it's going to be really hard for him to just like extend out of this, so I can keep him in a nice little ball. Right, so what I want to do is I want to walk one knee up behind his head here. Right, so like a little pillow, or like when we're going in for the back take with this, what's it called, gift wrap here, right? So I'm getting them nice and snugged up onto my hip here, right? And then I can take this leg, and I'm just gonna insert in between the legs here. All right, now, the goal, what I wanna do is I wanna get underneath this armpit here. So this is where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna let go of this. Like once I get this foot in his leg here, I feel like I can let go of his head, or let go of this gable grip. I'm gonna start coming in and digging and finding this arm here. And once I have this controlled, we're good to go. Right? I'm gonna lean back this way, and I'm gonna make sure his head stays tucked in under my leg here. Right? And I'm gonna try and put my foot under his armpit, and then I'm gonna come up and around here. Right? So right now I've got an arm and a leg. Right? So it's a regular triangle, but his leg is on the inside here, and it's not going to be a choke. I'm going to come up, grab his foot, and just start tickling it. But it's a nice knee bar.
We have to move around a little bit. Yeah. So let's start from here, I think, maybe? So you can see the other side. I think we're looking here.
Alright, so we've got our posture control here. Alright, I'm going to try and get deep with this head scooping hand to start breaking down his posture. And I'm going to scoop underneath and get my cradle. Alright, once we're here, I'm going to walk my knee underneath his head and try and get nice and tight where I've got his head in my hip. Alright, and then I'm going to try and find this. And we're here. This is feeling pretty good. I feel like even if I don't get under his arm here, it's still going to be okay. However, in order to keep him from just slipping out, right, we do want an arm inside. Right, and now here I can lean back. Get the triangle here locked up, right? And then I can just start extending this guy. Other angles.
I'm going to do a couple. It's hard to tap when your arms are like when you have the little what are they? The T-Rex arms, or go from this way to this way. 360 angle on things.
Should we split this way?
No, do this way, because we did that way, we did that way. Oh.
Scoop, get the angle grip. Start sliding this up here. Flip this over here. Let's get under.
Can you just do this from just regular side, or from a,
Yes.
just from a regular side control? You don't have to get the leg drag. It seems like if you're just on a gift wrap, you could probably,
Well, what
or any kind of cradle, right? Anytime you can cradle the person.
cradle. I've been doing here, and people like to lift this leg up, so it's like okay. And then we can just start. And this one's like even without his arm inside, like a
It just
quick
makes
one. As long as I have his head trapped in my hip here, it still should be at least difficult for him to escape.
I mean, even if I get my head out, you still have my leg.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like getting my head up. I mean, that'll be more comfortable for me.
Yeah. But even it's
Then
still
even
that
if I get
position.
here, this is not exactly a great escape. Here, go back over here a little bit.
But I think the key here is really getting that head and the hip here. Alright, so if we can get
Yeah, like
this to
this.
happen. Alright. Then I think this is fine.
Now, are you worried about getting waiter sweep at all in the midst of that?
Let's see.
Not that I'm good at that, but I wonder if, because you're putting your leg here, if the person can start coming this way.
Maybe. I feel like here
It's
I
still
get
bad.
regular triangle.
You're squeezing. That is a squeeze.
Yeah. The regular triangle, I have trouble hitting, but that's where we have all the way over here.
This is the waiter sweep. I mean, this is a counter to the waiter sweep.
Really?
Yes.
So waiter sweep is when we're here, right?
Yes. And you pull my head up.
Pull.
And then
Drive.
So we haven't done CryAngle. We should probably do like a whole thing on CryAngles.
We should probably do triangles first, but
No, triangles are there are a million videos about triangles. Triangles have been done to death. To my knowledge, no one has done a CryAngle. Now a whole DVD or instructional triangles, but there are, and they don't call them triangles either. I don't know where that term comes from.
what do they call them?
I don't know. But I'm trying to think of the guy who he put out a DVD or an instructional series, and he went over, I think it's mostly in the gi, but how to attack deep half guard and waiter sweeps with triangles. Forget his name, but it'll come to me.
Yeah.
But yes, that's pretty cool. Triangles.
That's all I have.
That's what you got?
That's what I did. That's my whole thing today.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Do you want to try it?
Yeah. So we're coming from, we're doing
You
that
can start
leg
from the
drag, right? So
cradle
you
or-
just have this, because now you have this leg up. So you're coming here,
And start with a gable grip. Yeah.
like that.
And then you want to get your left knee. Do the knee first before that.
So I want to come up here,
Yeah, and really get me scooped up onto your hip here.
right? And can you extend?
Not really.
Not really, it's hard. And then you're going to step over. Now here you got to be thinking, this is not going well for me.
Yeah, this is, well, I've never been CryAngle.
You never, I CryAngled you once. I think you let me get to the position.
It wasn't this.
Hmm?
I
No,
don't
not
think
this way.
has happened to me.
So
Yeah,
where
I
do
like
you,
to get underneath this elbow. Usually I'll try and scoop here and keep here. Yeah. That way, as you fall, you can get this all the way up into the shoulder.
so, oh, sorry, which way am I falling
You're gonna
back?
go to your right. That way you don't roll over your foot.
I'm going
See,
backwards, so I
you're
don't
rolling over your
smash you.
foot.
Oh, I see. So I want to come here like this?
Yeah.
Oh, so I come up here.
Yeah, and when you're smashing their knee into their face, that's
Yeah.
how you know it's good.
when the knee
Yeah.
bone or your
Right in the cheekbone.
your patella goes, no, mine goes right in my eyeball. Because the cheekbone is actually really painful, but in the eye, it's kind of soft,
It's like a
so.
cup and saucer.
So over here. Right here. Right, and then you're actually gonna step out of that leg drag and come up to the elbow.
And I think you don't need this arm. You can try it without it. See how it feels.
Oh,
Right?
because like, if I just do that,
Yeah. Then
yeah, this is what happened to me, and this actually is more, I think, more painful.
Because the arm isn't like creating that space.
I like this, and I can get a pre-CryAngle smash into your face.
Yeah.
Before,
Well,
and then you come up on your toe, right? Like you come up on your foot.
I try and go that way.
Yeah, because you don't have a base. Here. Oh, and it gets into the shoulder. Oh, it's a little bit harder, I think, for me. That is so unpleasant.
I think the key is, like, especially if you don't have as long of legs, like really breaking down the posture.
Come back one more time. So if we're here, if I can get that knee up like that, we're in the same position, right?
Yeah.
How does that feel? Can you blow out of there?
Oh no, I can't. I hate that grip though. That's why I was so confident.
So you're like, yes. Ah.
Anyone can break that.
Anyone. I just think like sometimes you can't get the gable because the person is not quite that far.
It's spider walk sometimes.
Yeah. Here, but then this butterfly. I don't want to do that. So then you're coming forward. You're getting this. Okay.
I'm really hoping that if I keep doing this, people will stop defending side control by bringing that knee up.
There's no reason for that knee to be up there.
Or at least we can give them a reason for them not to do it.
What about here? I mean, do you hold on with this leg? I mean, can you extend your body right now?
Not really. This is not a position that I would want to explode out of.
No.
It's just too dangerous.
That's pretty nasty, right?
That's probably, I'm gonna be here probably.
You have all sorts of targets here.
Yeah. It's a little, there it goes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, getting under that forearm, I think, is one of the better things you can do.
Right. I'm always worried about your head coming out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But even if your head comes out,
Yeah, you're still in a good position to attack the leg.
I mean, I should probably sit back onto this. Then you're gonna come up and must look a leg drag to me. Well, no.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna. You have the leg. That's kind of your fallback. Is you always have that leg lock. I mean, you can go right to a heel over here too.
And I just I've been playing with this as a connection, right? Like, just as a way to keep control of your hips without having to be all the way down by the knee. You can stay up here, and I'll just hold on to this, and I can turn you away, I can turn you towards me.
Oh, that's good.
You gather up here. Feeling really good.
Oh, that one you fell back before you you're putting the foot in
Yeah.
as you're falling back.
This is I didn't set it up before sitting, but here it's still. Let's make this happen.
I like that. I really like cradles a lot. They're underused,
Yeah.
and so.
I used to have like a disdain for them.
Why?
Because people would cradle me. And
Well,
it's
they
like,
just hold you there.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't make it. Was just like the old story of Mark Schultz and Hickson Gracie. So the story, you know the story?
It was the one where like he pinned him, but it was.
He didn't know anything, right? Like he's a great wrestler, and he could hurt you if you tried to wrestle back with him. But you know that's not what Hickson was. I don't think Hickson tried to make it into a takedown, a wrestling match.
Yeah.
And so he just cradled him. He said he held Hickson there for 20 minutes, but that was it. And then at some point he got bored and said, "Okay, well, what else can I do here?" And then Hickson triangled him or something. But you know, it was. I think there were a lot of people. Yeah, they just get the cradle and they just hang on, and that's kind of boring. Although it is useful if you want to hold on to somebody for 5. Like if you're in a match and you need 2 minutes, you can cradle. I don't think you have to let go of the cradle because you're in a better position. You're in a dominant position. I don't think you have to advance if you're in cross-side or mount or anything like that.
Really?
Yeah, if you're just mounted on somebody, you don't have to go anywhere.
You don't know.
If you're in their guard, then you have to try to pass. You can get stalling. But if you're cross-side, I don't believe under the rules that, as I understand them, you don't have to. You You don't have to try to advance to mount.
I thought it was the other way. If you were in a bad position, it's not your responsibility to move to get out. Like, I've been locked in triangles a bunch, and people get mad because they'll just defend. Like, I'd rather be here for forever and not get submitted. But
I don't. If you're caught in a submission and you're not getting submitted, or for whatever reason, you're under no obligation to. No, neither person is obligated to do anything different. If you're just stuck in an arm lock or a triangle or rear naked, and for whatever reason that person can't finish, they're not under any obligation to switch off to something else, and you're not under any. You're defending a submission. Right, and so the act of defending a submission or applying the submission is not stalling. That is considered to be an act. But if I'm trying to if I'm trying to pass your guard, or you're playing guard, then you can't just keep me in closed guard forever.
Yeah. But
right, that's not considered to be a superior position.
But if I sweep you, I can just hang out. And
if you sweep to mount, you can just chill. People don't. I didn't understand that until the last rules meeting that I went to. So people will be like, he's stalling, well, he's got your back, or he's mounted on top of you. He doesn't have to do anything. Yeah. And I think the same is true for knee on belly. Knee on belly is kind of, is essentially the same thing as a pin. Yeah. Right? You could just stay in knee on belly the whole time. You've scored by getting, the point of stalling is to encourage you to move to these positions, right? To pass the guard or to sweep. So, yeah. So if you have that cradle, that presumes that you're already past the guard.
Well, the problem is when you're cradling someone, aren't you technically still in their guard because your arms are involved in their legs?
No, because your hips are past their hips.
But I thought if I was, let's say I'm passing you here, right? Like, we're passing, it's great. We've been doing this forever. Yeah. And I still have this arm here.
Or I have that's obviously one leg.
Even if I just have my arm here, it's not considered a pass for me until I clear past your hips.
Yeah, your body's, I don't think your arm is, unless I have you in a submission, right? So if I have you in a bicep slicer.
Or even a good one.
If I have you here and you're going, this you're not past yet, because you're not clear. The same way, like if you're.
Or what if I'm here and you're not doing anything?
I think this you would still be. You're at least susceptible to a submission. I think you're still technically inside my guard.
What if I'm here?
You're still inside my
What
guard.
if I'm here?
You're gone.
I'm out?
Yeah, you win on
Then
that.
how come leg drag isn't considered past guard until you clear the legs here?
Well, because your hips are up behind like my hips. Right, so you'll see, like I can lock in here, and even though this is not going to, depending on who you're dealing with, this isn't going to keep you here forever. This is still not, you're not past. Because your hips are still not past my hip line.
True.
Right, so
what if I'm here?
No, it's still, it's uncomfortable, but I don't think, you still are not.
My hips are totally past your hip line. I'm all the way up here.
Yeah, but then the person turns, right? These are, and usually the person's rolling out anyway, or trying to do something else. But
having your arm in there, does it count?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure not. It has to be some sort of submission. Like you can have the guillotine is another example. Yeah, the guillotine, the person's totally past your hips, but because I still have even a vague hope for a submission, you're still not. You are past the guard. You don't get the points until you're clear of the submission.
If you're holding a guillotine and I get past, and then like you were close to finishing, but I was also almost past.
Both get
And
advantages.
then I end up back in your. Do we both get advantages for that? Like almost pass, almost submit.
I saw something like that where the person, maybe it was Gary Tonin again in his last match. Who did he have a match against? He had one against Machine. He beat him. Who was the last guy that he just beat? I forget. But he had that kind of situation where he had I think it was him. It could have been somebody else. But they had a guillotine. It was one of those where the guy went behind. And he got this guillotine, and you're like, oh no, that's a terrible idea. But it's Gary Tonin, so he gets away with a lot because he's so good.
Gary had the guillotine?
He had the guillotine, but it was like he turned on it, and it was really, it turned into something nice, which for most of us it just turns into
But he breaks all the rules, you know,
Yeah.
because he's just so.
I don't
So
know.
good.
I think that reach back is a good one. I like it.
I mean, I've definitely been in situations training with you where you'll turn and you'll get to the guillotine
Yeah.
and you'll make something nice out of it. Whereas most people just get their back taken
Just reach back.
or they get their arm taken or whatever. Yeah.
What is this? Reacher.
So, yeah, CryAngles, very nice. Triangles, cradles. Cradles are definitely.
Cradles are not something. Cradles are something that I only just recently started playing with. Because it's just very strong, but I always like associated it with stomping.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be, you know. Just like I was using it to set something up, and
It creates. I mean, you have that example there. We have the CryAngle. You can use it, I suppose, to set up leg attacks, right? Just like because you have that schooner, and you can use it to set up arm locks.
or just the hip control is really nice, right? Just keeping a person from being able to turn onto their side, engage the floor with their foot, and be able to push their hips around. Keeping that leg control gives you, or it takes away some of their own hip control, where they're able to actually do something effective with their legs, I think.
Yeah, and I think there's a difference too in sort of front side cradles and back side cradles. What you're doing is a back side cradle as opposed to a front side
It's a
cradle.
front side cradle.
So front side is like if we were passing, like your half guard.
Like here?
Yeah, so if I'm here like this, let's say here, and I come across, this is a front side cradle, right? So you're not going to do.
Yeah.
So if you guys are watching this and you try to do a cradle and you're like, why is this not working the way that, you know, if you're trying Kevin's move, it's because you're doing a front side cradle instead of a back side. What is it?
A course?
Course. I mean, you can get, yeah. I mean, this is probably pretty nasty.
Yeah,
Here.
it's going to be hard because your arms are shorter.
Yeah, and you can really kind of push against it, right? So if you push, this is really hard. Yeah, you're gonna try to move me. I guess you could get in here.
It makes
That is
sense.
pretty nasty.
Someone sad.
Very sick. Awesome. And you know, guys, if there have definitely been some. You don't see that often in competition, but there have been people who have explored the cradle in that way. Like I think Braulio has done some stuff on the cradle. Robert Drysdale has done some stuff on the cradle, using the cradle to pass and set up darces and things like that. So I think if you could, over here on the cradle, just
Front side, back side?
front side, over here. I'm trying to think if there's other things that you can get.
Can you do a CryAngle?
A cryoconda, like you fall backwards like this. That's pretty cool. You probably can do it.
Or a cry
Now we're just being silly. I'm sure you could, if you have long enough arms, you probably could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, once the cradle is applied,
It's you can't.
really hard to get rid
I would
of.
advise if you're getting cradled, do not ever try and just blast out of it, because
You'll
that's
hurt
how
your neck.
you're gonna hurt your neck. You're gonna. What are the things in your spine that keep you from not
Your
being able-
discs.
Discs. You're gonna ruin all of your discs. All right. The last one of my favorite jiu-jitsu instructors is a terrible back because he fought out of so many stacks and people would stack him and he was told to resist and he did and now he lives a life of pain and hobbling. That's probably not true. Sorry, Evan, but it's like it's important, right? Like if you're bent and twisted and folded up and your spine is all crinkly, you don't want to try and do any sort of explosive movements. You're gonna wreck yourself really bad. So you know if you get cradled, just let them have something so that they'll let go and do something else. But you're not gonna be able to break it, or at least like be very very careful.
You're probably not getting cradled because you're going with somebody who's weak. Right? I mean,
Well, the thing is, you're getting cradled because you gave them the opportunity.
you curled up.
Yeah,
Well, you
you're-
shouldn't have been curled
You're
up.
curled up into a little ball. Your head is coming down. Like, you know, if my hands can meet while at the same time scooping your head and your leg, that's a problem. Like, I shouldn't be given that opportunity. But Just don't let people don't be like this. Or if
Well,
you
but
are
see,
briefly,
people, well, it's when the person is past your legs, because everyone curls up, right? Everyone is in that sort of dead bug position.
yeah, it's not.
Because then they're
it's not-
gonna.
It's not a good thing to do.
Well, I would say it's not a good thing to do when the person has any opportunity to lock their arms around your leg and your neck,
Yes.
right? So if they're passing, right? I mean, if you go to cross side, and if I'm here like this and you try to come up, and you bring your legs for me, no,
Yes.
this happens all the
It
time. It
happens.
seems the same way here. The same thing you're doing on the backside, the person comes here and you just do that.
Yes.
So, I mean, the other kind of lesson, turn this way, the other lesson here is that you on the bottom and the person on the top both need to be aware, me opportunity-wise, you defensively,
Yeah.
that when I'm already past your hips, then your leg should not come up if I can grab it with my arm,
Yeah. I mean,
right? I mean, I like, if I'm here, and this is another good thing that kind of segues with what we were, matches, double games, I suppose, with what we were talking about yesterday, but earlier this week, where you have the armpit and you have here, and now you can't, it's hard for you to come into me, but you're gonna go away from me, right? And then that's gonna be an opportunity for me, if you do that, to kind of to cradle you up and also get kneed in the face. That's all right, no, but you should have your head down, right? So if the person's here and they're trying to, then that's a good opportunity right here to work into that, all right?
I just
like
feel
that a
like
lot.
for the person on bottom, this foot really has no reason to come off the ground unless you're actively searching for space in between here, right? Like if you're in cross side, like if you're blocking my hip here, my knee isn't going to do anything. Even here, like I'm not worried about you going into knee on belly or mount because you're not in a good position to do that anyway, right? With this blocking, so this isn't going to do me any good.
And I have to let go of your head in order to
In
get my
order to
knee
come
up.
up. Yeah.
I mean, not always. Like I could stay down here, but
Well, if your knee is on the floor and you're blocking your hip, this is not.
that's not the time to bring your knees
It's
up.
not the time. You need to be in a like a head scoop, arm scoop to go to that. But and here, this is
Now,
what I'd be
yeah.
trying to get.
Now I don't have anything.
Yeah.
I might be able to do one of these bottom cradles here. That's also very interesting. That's the one that I was
feel like
thinking
that's
of
the one
here.
you're going to-
Well, if we're here, can you invert and triangle? No, maybe. Keep that in there. Oh, there you go. You have other things to do. Okay, don't do that, kids. That's bad. Cradles.
Yeah, a lot of people are here like trying to block this space, and you're just leaving your foot open, you're leaving your leg open. This is just a lever to control your hips, and you're giving it.
So this is like really old school defense. It was one of the things that we were taught to stop the person from passing would be to do that, or to mount would be to do this stuff.
It's terrible.
And if you go back and you watch like Hodger Gracie or anybody of that era,
We used to do
as
that.
soon as you did that, put this up, Hodger would take you across.
Yeah.
He would, I mean, every time. I mean, that was just something, and you don't see people doing this as much anymore because you're just essentially letting the person turn their hips.
Yes. This is just a big hip lever. And if I can get a person's hips turned away from me, it's so much easier to maintain control. Like, I don't have to worry about them getting
You're not going to frame into me anymore. Like you have, like every time I'm here when you're on your back, right? If I'm here, I'm constantly worried about this and I'm worried about that. These two things, if you're able to frame on my hip, you're gonna hip escape. And then that top side leg or far leg is now gonna be active.
You use this leg to escape?
No, but you do, right? So if I'm here and you go and you kind of scoot your hips, you have that, but you throw it over too, like you were just and now you're inverting,
All sorts of stuff.
right? So it used to be that not everyone, but most of the time people would try to drive this knee back inside. Not wrong, but even if you block that, the person can come over and just set this up. Just get this foot back onto the hip. So it's let me see. I don't think you're going to, if we're here, like let's say you're like this and the person did that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you just get, and now this is not good. Now you're gonna be cradled every time. You should be.
Yeah.
Here. But so you're like, oh, you're not gonna mount me. No, I'm gonna take your back.
Yeah.
Right? In a fight, it might be different.
Oh yeah, you don't want to get mounted in a fight.
You know, so there's a different, you know, whenever you talk about I think, like what people did or what we were taught 20 years ago, those guys were fighters. Like they weren't, not to say that they didn't compete, because they did.
They weren't worried about getting toe held.
Yeah, I mean, that was the least of their worries. It was you didn't want Mario Sperry with knee on belly on top of you, raining down shots, you know, or whoever it was. So maybe it's, you know, I don't want to, I'm not, when I say things like that, they don't work or you shouldn't do them,
We just live in a more
understand it's a different
civilized area.
context, you know.
We're civilized. We're
I don't know, but you
gentlemen.
speak for yourself.
Gentlemen.
Anything else you want to go over today? CryAngles?
No. That was the idea I had. I really liked it. Thought I'd share.
Let me see. I'm going to show the one CryAngle from the deep half guard.
Do you have?
If you wouldn't mind.
Here? Or
No, so that's not.
this is how I do deep half. So.
Is that how you do deep half?
Yeah. Am I just here?
Yeah. So this is more of a same idea here.
I never know what to do with my legs if they're not butterflying.
Yes. And then I don't know from here.
Do you sit in here or do you sit here?
I think I want to get even tighter up, and I'm going to stay on top of you. Right? I guess I would fall backwards here. You have your arm and your leg in there.
Yeah.
It's a little more comfortable for you, but also a lot tighter. Right? Go back for a second. No, so. Try not to crank too much. Go turn your head that way. Yeah. So even here, so yeah, it's this one, right? Where it's kind of in the beginning, where you're there. And you want to come up almost like the same thing here. Now, so it's much different now.
It's more like an S mount now.
Yeah. So here. I like this one a lot. And you can also have
Yeah.
this type of stuff here.
I like that.
That's pretty nice to do. So anytime, like if you're in a half guard, back when I had good hips, right? Like here, right, you can come up. Did you hear that? That was good. And then you have here, I'm not locking my legs, but you gotta pull up. I don't think you wanna roll. I think I wanna step my foot here, sorry, okay? And then I wanna sit back.
You're rolling over your foot. Can you go to your right instead?
It's hard to do it because I think I'm just gonna stay here and then just try to, yeah, like here. That's pretty tough. I don't know if I can lock my legs without I don't feel secure enough. You can probably do it. So we're in half guard, right? Or deep half.
We're going.
Yeah. Sorry. That's all right. That's your weight too. It's on top of me.
Yeah, and
It's like
I
not
put
good.
my toe underneath your head on the floor too to make you.
But I like that. I like like anticipating that half guard, like when they go deep underneath,
Yeah.
and then you have that.
And they're just like a little bit too relaxed with that leg. And they just let their knee come to their face.
Not good.
Gotta keep good structure.
All right. Good
Well,
stuff.
That's fun.
Thank you, Coach Kevin.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, guys. If you guys like the video, hit subscribe and
Yes.
like and a
Smash
little
the
bell.
like button.
Smash the like button.
Smash it.
Smash it. Don't break your computers, though.